The moment our fellow geeks, dweebs, nerds, and other unfortunates have been fervently waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for TMI, Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerf Herder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker. And now, let's get on with the show. Here is TMI.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome. Here we are. We're right in the heart of November, driving right toward Thanksgiving.
And we're still in the lab. We visited Gene Wilder as Frankenstein last week, and here we are with Oscarisaac. And
speaking of which, hot off the slab.
Yeah.
This thing just dropped on Friday.
It did. But, well, you know, if you were lucky.
In
October, there was a very limited release in theaters, not in our area, or we would have seen it early. We just watched it a couple days ago, and we're here to tell you all about
Del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because the last time we talked about Del Toro was his Pinocchio, which had dropped on Netflix. And it seems like these two are almost same sides of the coin here with the dysfunctional dads trying to discipline his makeshift child.
Well, this apparently is a passion project for Del Toro.
Well, I think that comes through on this.
Yeah. And so maybe he was working up, you know, Pinocchio was a stepping stone to the big guy.
So.
Yeah.
I think he definitely had these planned out as like little bookend. I think this guy's got some daddy issues.
The monster or Guillermo?
No, Guillermo. I think that maybe this is therapy. Anyways, so yes, we are talking Frankenstein, hot off the slab, as we said, and then we are going a little more lighthearted.
Yeah, talk about two sides of the coin. Frankenstein meets the space monster.
I had never heard of this.
You'd never heard of this, really?
You said you had seen it multiple times.
I had, because it was a staple on Saturday afternoon TV. In the 70s, you couldn't really pick and choose. You just watched whatever they showed you. So this was on quite a bit. Could have been Channel 5, WNEW, or PIX. I don't remember what it was, but I saw it. They probably didn't even have to cut any time for commercials because the thing's only 70 minutes long.
Yeah, it's perfect. Speaking of staples, they should have had some to put his face back together.
Easily, they could have probably cut, 15 minutes of just that song playing in its entirety.
Oh, we're going to get there because I have some real big thoughts on this movie. It was just like, wow, this is okay. But yeah, we gotta get heavy-handed first here.
Frankenstein, by the way, in name only.
Well, his name was Frank.
His name was Frank. That's what I mean.
His last name was not Stein.
It's not Stein.
No. We don't know what his middle initial was, so it could have been Frank and Staub or whatever his last name was there, though. That's kind of they did play fast and loose with the idea that he is a Frankenstein.
Well, it's name cachet, right? So it's probably not IP that you've got to pay for just to use that word. If you think about it, most of the kaiju films, the Godzilla films, when released overseas, their literal translations usually included the word Frankenstein in there, even though it had nothing to do. Yeah.
Huh. Like, I will throw that in there. So we'll get there. That is on the back end. So you want to do a little news first?
Sure.
I figured since the theme of this week is reanimation, we should talk a little bit about some upcoming movie franchises that are getting some new life.
All right.
It never ends. It's like everything old is new again. So according to Variety, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are both set to return as Rick and Evelyn O'Connell in The Mummy 4. Now, I don't even remember the third.
No, what was the Scorpion King? Was that the third?
That was not the third. So we had The Mummy in 99, 2001 was The Mummy Returns, and then 2008 was The Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Scorpion
was that like
King
direct to video?
No, it was in theaters. See, I don't remember it either. I can see the look on your face that you don't remember that.
No.
And I want to say it was Jet Li maybe was one of the bad guys in that movie. But apparently the two guys that created Ready or Not, this Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette are set to direct. They've also are known, they rebooted that Scream franchise back in 22. I don't know. They're saying that both leads are I don't even think Rachel Weisz came back for the third one. I don't know. So maybe someone out there is excited for this. Brendan Fraser's kind of getting a little bit of a comeback after his whale. So,
and what was that actor's name that actually played the mummy? I've got to get him back. Andrew Vosloo. Arnold Vosloo. Yeah.
Arnold Vosloo. Yeah. Bring him back. Why not?
Yeah.
Bring the whole cast back. So
he's got to open the mouth and let all the sandstorms come out of it, just like he did.
Remember that? I mean, that was so cutting edge CG back then in '99 when he used
that was the money shot. That was the money shot in the Super Bowl commercial for that movie. I remember.
Yes, listen, I was right there. I was sitting front and center in 2001 for the return. Couldn't wait to see that. So the Mummy 4. I don't think there's any kind of release date yet for that. But we'll keep an eye out so we don't cover it. Also, we are getting word that we're going to get a Gremlins 3. This is officially greenlit. It is set for November 19th, 2027 release. Zachary Lipovsky and Adam Stein are a directing duo who recently did Final Destination Bloodlines. And they are teaming up with Chris Columbus and Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment to write the new feature installment of Gremlins.
It better be practical, is all I'm saying.
You would like to think that would be the case. But again, the second movie came out in 1990. We get an animated series.
We got an animated series on HBO Max, but this is one of those things where the franchise has never really left, I think, in people's minds. Just like something like Back to the Future, it's always there and present.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're going to have a problem finding an audience.
Well, Quentin Tarantino has gone on record multiple times that he thinks that Gremlins 2, the new batch, was a brilliant deconstruction of the original Gremlins. And I'm like, I don't know what he's smoking.
I'll have to go back and watch it
because I don't think I looked that deeply into Gremlins 2. And finally, we do have to say goodbye to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe. Paramount has confirmed that the studio will not seek out new life nor some new civilizations in the what's being referred to unofficially as the Kelvinverse Star Trek.
So a trilogy is all we're going to get on that. Yeah,
and I will say the second two were very lackluster. Star Trek, the original 2009, boom, out of the gates. What a fantastic movie. What a fun attack and reimagining of the Star Trek universe.
Yeah,
and that is my unabashed praise for that movie. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely adored it. I thought it was spot on casting. You're bringing these characters and these ideas into a whole new world. And the fact, and again, because this is an alternative timeline, you can do whatever you want. You're not bound by whatever 50 years of history with, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy playing those characters. And so what do they do in the second movie? Immediately ape the biggest movie in that franchise, which is Wrath of Khan, by making Benedict Cumberbatches, and they lied about it going in. I remember sitting in the theater, and when Benedict Cumberbatch reveals that his name is Sunan Khan, the lady behind me just says, "Son of a bitch." And I'm like, yeah, that pretty much is it. Did not care for that at all. Just give me, you just went out of your way to create a whole new universe. I can do anything I want, and this is the number one movie in that franchise, so let's just re-ape it. So maybe it's a good thing. Yeah, so there you go. That's our news.
Frankenstein.
No, that's pronounced Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Is the title Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein?
That's how I keep referring to it as, but I think it just says Frankenstein.
Well, it is his. So
it's very much his. And this is the one thing I've been seeing a lot of commentary on how what's in the book and what's not in the book.
And that I did not preoccupy myself with. I just watched it as it was.
We talked about the fact, this idea that he filmed Pinocchio, and yes, this is like this labor of love project for him. And you go back to the source material, but at some point you make it your own.
Yeah, this is Guillermo's Frankenstein on Netflix, as we said.
Yeah.
It begs to be on the big screen. The visuals are just amazing.
10 minutes in, and I literally wrote, this looks gorgeous. The cinematography on this is just... And if you sit through this movie, which is almost 3 hours, there is a 45-minute making of documentary on Netflix as well. And it came up almost instantly for me as soon as the movie was over. And 98% of what you're seeing on screen is on set. It's all practical.
Yeah, it looks it. It does.
The lighting, I can't say enough artistically about this. It is gorgeous to look at.
There's no surprises here, really. It's the Frankenstein story.
No,
anybody that knows
I was very disappointed he did not break out into Putting on the Ritz.
He could have. He's not exactly hard on the eyes, this guy.
No, well,
striking terror is not his forte.
Elizabeth was smitten with him.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, what a big Schlossenwagen.
You're thinking when you first encounter him and he's got the hood on and you can't really see his face in the farthermost north, as they call it. Oh, maybe this guy is ugly. Maybe he's not like CW model material. But then once you see his face,
he's a face only a dad could love.
Well, it opens in the north, the Arctic, just like the novel ends and begins. So that was nice.
With the captain's journal.
I always like to see that in a Frankenstein story.
Yeah, because you're getting the monster right up front.
Now this
That's
captain,
like watching a Godzilla movie.
What a jackass!
What's that? The captain?
Yeah, men, we must furrow onward through these mountains of ice that we have no hope of breaking through. We signed a contract. We will carry this through until we are dead.
Who drove into the ice pile to begin with?
That guy deserves a mutiny more than any other. I'm like, get your ship out and go another way. You obviously can't go forward.
Well, but when you get to the end of the movie and they do break free, it looks like they were like right there at the end.
They were.
Anyways. Just put it in reverse.
This guy just didn't want to. I don't know what he was. Maybe he had alimony payments. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't want to go back. Do you want to go back? Well, come on, I like scurvy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe this was the same captain as the Titanic. So, like you said, right off the bat, you get these guys trapped in ice, and this is a practical ship. This is full. They fully built this boat that just sits there encased in ice. These guys are trying to chip away the ice. They're peeing on it. They're doing whatever they can to try and
go pee on that ice mountain. See that how that works. Right. Yeah, it'll be gone within 2 minutes. Trust me.
I was shocked that they weren't trying to pee on it. We get an explosion 2 miles off. Oh, let's go check that out. We got nothing better to go. What if it was just a bunch of homicidal penguins?
Yeah, I know you guys are exhausted to the point of death, but let's march 2 miles.
Let's go march 2 miles in the frozen
towards
tundra.
Danger. Yeah.
Yep. And this is where they find Victor. Dogs are all right. Not a lot of blood going on here, but you're right. This is a fantastic way to.
Yeah, those dogs. That's dinner. That's dinner for that crew. I'm like, bring those dogs back.
Dogs, yeah.
Who let those dogs out?
Although later we get some wolves and they're all CG. And it was like, they spent all the money on the monster makeup.
Yeah, just dress up some German shepherds. You could, that's easy.
Apparently, if you watch that special, there were a mix of live dogs and live wolves and CG. But the CG kind of took me out. But so they find Victor, who's missing a leg. He's got a prosthetic leg.
I thought it was gangrene when they first took off his boot because it was all black, his foot.
Like, yeah, well, it's all fake. Yeah. And the monster follows him and then just starts. I mean, he's taking bullet after bullet. These guys are lining up just like they're in the French Revolution. And there's one scene where he throat punches this guy, and the guy just does like the weird slow back bend and completely flips over. And I'm like, this is wild. This is like great.
This opening is just spectacular, and I
this is
loved
what
it.
you want to see in a monster
And then the captain
movie.
is like, "Get the blunderbuss," and I'm like, "You don't hear that phrase often."
Yeah, and boy, this thing is monstrous. What a gun!
It's like Old Painless from Predator. It's like Jesse the Body comes out from beneath the ship with the blunderbuss.
That's crazy. But he decides he's not going to shoot the monster. He's just going to shoot the ice out from one shot. Oh, no, he does shoot him with that thing.
He shoots him once and knocks him overboard. Yes. And then the monster starts to do a Poseidon adventure on the ship to turn it completely over. And then they shoot the ice.
Am I wrong in saying that there is no it's physically impossible for him to push this ship? I don't care how much you have a grip on the ground. You're going to slip and slide. But yeah, they shoot the ice. Captain shoots the ice, which is feet thick. Yeah, somehow he slips and.
Hey, it's the blunderbuss. It's the blunderbuss.
The blunderbuss.
That could have been the Great Space Coaster. The blunderbuss.
On the Great Space Coaster. Is that the one with Gary Gnu?
Gary Gnu. The Gnu's.
No, Gnu's is good. Gnu's with Gary Gnu's. We get the monster floating down into the water, and then.
So that gives Victor time to tell his story on the ship.
Yeah, it's a long story. I'd be like, all right, get to the point, dude. So when I was born, it's like, really? That we got to start there?
My father gave me that name, and the captain is like, okay, let's wrap this up.
Come on, dude, right? So we get part one, Victor's Tale. So I do like the fact that this is broken up, and I did read that at one point Del Toro was talking about making this a trilogy where each movie would be from, like, movie one would be Victor's point of view, then the monster's point of view, and then the captain's point of view. I'm like, oh, that would have been. So even when we get to part two, which is the monster's tale, thankfully he immediately picks up where Victor left off.
Yes.
I was very thrilled to see that Victor's dad is actually Tywin Lannister.
Well, he's also the guy that was buying and selling one of Ghidorah's heads at the end of
that is true.
Godzilla King of the Monsters.
I forgot King of the Monsters. I went right back to
he obviously made a mint off selling that head because now he's set in this movie.
Now he's set. But he finds out that his mom is pregnant and the dad's feeding her blood to nourish the baby. I'm like, I'll never complain about my parents forcing me to eat
dad is a jerk.
Again.
Dad is a jerk. We've got a parallel here.
Yes. Yeah, like father, like son.
Every once in a while, they go back to Victor telling the story.
Yeah, you have to realize, this is all being told. Yeah.
As he's going through his childhood, at some point, the captain's like, okay, let's skip to the part with the guy out there that just killed remember 6 of my men.
Yeah. Can we get to that part? Yeah, hold on. Let me go calm this crew down. They're all outside going, what the f- are you doing in there? Yeah, you didn't get this out of the ice yet? I got a guest in here.
Yeah, Dad is a jerk. He's trying to teach Victor to be a surgeon, but, whips him across the face when he gets a medical question wrong. Although maybe if we did that today, there'd be less medical error. So
maybe if my dad just beat me.
Yeah.
Well, he chose not to beat him on the hands because that's his instruments. Your face is vanity.
Dad and Mom, it was a marriage of convenience. Mom is pregnant, so Dad chooses to save the baby over Mom's life because Victor blames him for the mom's
that's interesting.
Death.
He immediately he questions, could you have saved her? And that's when he gets the speech that no one can conquer death.
I will.
I want my mommy to live.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting that sarcophagus that they buried her in reminded me of that little toy he was playing with.
How do you get the body in there? Because if the top is only the head, they've got to shove it through that hole where the headpiece
goes. My guess is that the top piece folds out and then you put that plate over her face. But
that was a very cool visual. Nonetheless, I imagine that weighed a ton as well.
Yeah, I don't need to be a pallbearer. Thank you. No, I'm good. You want to help bury your mom? No, I'm good. So he gets, you're right. So Dad trains him and teaches him. And then all of a sudden Dad dies. Well, we have William. So the little brother, William, who seems to jump around age-wise.
And they kind of gloss over Dad dying, like the family fortune dwindles. The servants revolt at one point because they're tired of getting whipped in the face, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, what you didn't see was his other son, Tyrion, shoot him with a crossbow while he was sitting on the shore. So then So Dad dies. His fortune is left to him.
I guess
And
he goes to
the song-
university, right? He goes
then you cut like, yeah, then all of a sudden you cut to like 1855, because this opens up what was it, 1857?
yeah, on the ice. I think
Right.
that's, yeah.
Okay. I don't remember how far back we go, but Victor is played by Oscar Isaac, and I think he is phenomenal.
Whenever he is on screen, the movie comes alive.
Yeah. No, he's electric. You're right.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. And that foppish hair does give you a young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder kind of a vibe.
It does.
To it.
So I did appreciate how Del Toro was kind of giving little homages to the different Frankensteins that have come and gone over the years.
Well, I will say later in the movie, when the monster stumbles on that little house, I said, if there is an old blind man in there that offers him soup, I'm going to lose my shit. And we got pretty damn close to that. I was like, all right. But you're right. So we're introduced to him now as a grown adult, and he's in this Royal College of Medicine, and it's a disciplinary tribunal. I guess somebody ratted him out.
Well, he's doing a demo of all of his corpses,
he was trying
right?
But he kept showing stuff, and these judges are like, "You're not helping your case." So I got the impression that it was a tribunal disciplinary because somebody said this guy's trying to like bring back dead people.
Well, no, I don't think that they actually believed what he was doing was real. They were calling him a charlatan, and they were saying that it was like, puppetry. I don't know what they thought it was.
Well, I didn't think it was real either. And I'm like, this is like, in this day and age, I can watch a movie and be like, all right, I know how they pull that off, kind of a thing. But he's got like a severed corpse catching apples, and it was just reacting to him. And I'm like, this whole scene is just magical. I will say those mutton chops are definitely more impressive than any reanimated corpse.
Well, those are
mutton chops anymore.
Those go without saying in a period film, right? You got to have the mutton chops.
Nobody wears mutton chops anymore.
But this humiliation in front of his peers leads to him meeting Harlander, played by Christoph Waltz, who's kind of like a Christopher Walken. It's like you always get the same Christoph Waltz in every movie. You can't help it.
Slightly understated, and there's much more going on behind those eyes than.
So he's an arms dealer, and he's a very wealthy one, and he's fascinated by this, and he wants to fund Victor privately. This is how Victor is able to continue on with his experiments. And there's some scientific gobbledygook about how he found the secret. There's like a secret chamber behind the heart or something that if
I don't. It's
jolted.
You are correct. It is gobbledygook.
But there's one visual, there's one prop in here. Christoph's character Harlander gives Victor this wooden table that has some system of the body, like a map. It
was a lymphatic system.
The lymphatic system. And Victor is like blown away by this, right? So this, for whatever reason, and I just, again, don't know, is the key to whatever he's doing. To me, it looked like a giant game of Operation. The thing that he gave.
Well, that's what I was getting at before, the little toy that he was playing with that had the little parts for the lady.
Imagine if you presented Victor a game of Operation back then. It would blow his mind.
Wishbone? What's the bread basket?
Fascinating.
So you're telling me his nose lights up every time I screw something up?
That's better than a whip to the face.
True. Yeah. This is also where we're introduced to Elizabeth, who is in fact Michael's fiance. So this, I think, is what's being touted as the biggest departure from the novel.
You have miagoth. You've got to build that character up.
She is interesting. She is we've talked about her a couple times now with those other movies, and in this behind the scenes featurette, I never realized she's British. She's got
I was wondering that.
She's got a very squeaky British. I don't even know how to describe it, but it is not what we've seen come out of her mouth.
That makes me love those Ty West movies all the more. Then she's an odd duck. The character.
Up to this point, the palette in this movie is very muted. It's grays, it's blues, and then when she's introduced, she is constantly in green. And she's very environmental. She's into like the bugs. At one point, they talk about the entomology, and she's fascinated with the butterflies or whatever. And I just thought, like, she's literally presented as like this earthly flower that has bloomed into his life. And he was like, hello, what have we here?
And of course, poor William. And you can't have William be too likable to the audience, or you're going to get very mad at Victor and Elizabeth. But you can't really blame them because William is forgettable.
Yeah, it's Harlander's. No, he's her uncle.
Harlander's her uncle. Yes.
Okay, yes. But he sees that there's something going on there.
And I think he's trying to matchmake with her and Victor to try to get himself...
he actually puts Michael in charge of helping build the lab.
So not only do they build the lab, they renovate the castle.
Yeah, so this Eye of Sauron castle is just out in the middle of nowhere. And they're like, oh, it's an abandoned tower. We can just, I found it on Zillow. Let's go look at it.
And it's got a garbage chute that goes right into the water down below. So for all your body parts, you can just get rid of them down that chute.
And this set is practical. This set is gorgeous. What they do to this thing with these giant batteries, and it really is a sight to behold. This movie is just so tactile. Like everything, especially when we get to the monster later, like you can't stop looking at every part of him.
Really?
Yeah. It's just fascinating. Well, there's a reason Elizabeth was drawn to him.
Not only does Harlander provide him the castle, he also provides him the corpses because he's an arms dealer. So he's always like on battlefields. Yeah. So don't
take the ones on the top. Don't take the ones on the bottom.
So he's still kind of a grave robber, but he's more legitimate now in his grave robbery, where he's just taking people before they even get buried,
picking bodies that are about to be hanged. I'm like, I'm not a piece of meat. Well,
he's like, show me your teeth. Yeah, I don't want him.
Yeah. Yeah. Immediately smitten with Elizabeth. And at one point, he like chases her into the church. And I'm like, and he hides in the confessional. He thinks he's going to be the priest and let her reveal whatever confession she's got. I'm like, you were a friggin' straight up creep, dude.
Although that never really comes to fruition. He's more in love with the monster.
It's bordering on Victorian foreplay. Like, this is as far as they get.
Yeah. And of course, they have to have their grand ballroom dance scene. But that's about as far as the relationship goes. She's more interested in the monster than she is Victor once the monster appears.
Yeah. Well, at one point, she even says to him, you're the monster. Oh, no, I think maybe that was Michael or William. William was like, you're the monster. Yeah. He's like, what? Wait a minute.
And then at one point after this, Harlander tells him, well, there's a war a-brewing overseas. You need 1 week to figure this out or I'm pulling my money.
So I'm giving you, so again, you're like, you just told me, he literally says to him, you just told me, take whatever time you need in resources. And now you're telling me I have 1 week? Why? But we do find out, apparently he's dying.
Of syphilis, which is just so bizarre to hear.
Now. Yeah. It is. Well, he was curing himself with mercury too. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the mercury is what's killing you, dude. Yeah. Stop sleeping with whores and stop taking that mercury. Yeah. And at one point, so you see this lab being built and you see the body parts. I mean, there's scenes where he's cutting legs off. And I mean, this is just all physical stuff. It's all
there's
props.
there's one body that's like kind of bent over and tied down on top of a table, and the back skin is all open for the spinal cord.
That's where he was like looking at the lymphatic system, and Elizabeth comes in and she's the one who basically says it. It's like symmetry. She somehow unlocks the key. So you're right. He builds this body out of all these parts. He's hacking shit apart. There's blood everywhere. Imagine being the maid showing up on Tuesday. What did you do this weekend? And you're right. He's dragging body parts and throwing them down the hole. There's blood everywhere.
But once Harlander reveals to him that he has syphilis, then we see the motivation because he knows he's dying. He wants Victor to put him in this new body. So I don't know if he wanted to put his brain in there or what, but Victor's like, no, you're ruined. You're just like one of these guys that have bad teeth.
From the inside out. Maybe if you told me sooner what your motivation was, I could have planned. No, I'm not. It's like using an abnormal brain now.
So they start to struggle. The Harlander falls down that.
This is brutal.
It's like the money pit. He's got like a big hole in the middle of his main floor.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, where the lightning comes down. He falls and he
the back
smushes himself.
Thankfully, they did not use Christoph Waltz for that. It was a dummy.
Just like, oh, well, let's carry on.
Yeah, he hides the body.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, crap. Well, guess what?
He does hook up the lightning rod and zap the creature.
Okay,
And,
why does he wait until the storm comes and then climbs up there? Again, a little more foresight. You knew where it needed to go.
Well, of course, it's visually very striking to be like in a rainstorm climbing up there.
I get it. This is why you hired all those hired hands. Can you climb up there and put that thing up there? I'm going to wait until it's a torrential downpour.
Very shades of Young Frankenstein. It doesn't seem to work at the beginning. Like he, puts his head on his chest, just like Gene Wilder.
Yeah. Which just shows you the genius of Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks, that they were able to take the source material and mimic it so well that we now watch this movie and be like, he's just ripping off Young Frankenstein,
right?
Which is not the case, but
the monster does awaken.
Oh, but he's got the full body up, and it's literally a crucifixion scene. Again, artistically, I cannot say enough about this movie. This scene, even like we talk about the montage where he's hacking body parts, it's gorgeous.
But right, the monster starts to make the yummy sound, and that's how he knows.
Correct. Oh, did you make what? What yummy sound? I didn't make a yummy sound. You make a yummy sound. Victor.
So this is kind of where it started to fall apart for me.
Okay.
The monster, maybe another homage, who knows, very much looks like Rocky from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like all he was missing is the little gold lame on the shorts look exactly the same.
You know what? Wow, that's a spot on call, because he's not grotesque. He's a good looking guy, even out of makeup.
My monster needs to be at least a little scary. So even when he doesn't have hair, he didn't look grotesque to me. He looked like one of the engineers from Prometheus.
Yeah.
The skin looked like porcelain. It was...
Yeah. I mean, there was pieces of skin that were completely different color, especially that piece that went over his forehead compared to the rest of his face. But you're right. And like I said, you watch this behind the scenes and they talk about this poor guy sat 10 hours in the chair getting put in full makeup. I think there was like 64 prosthetics all said and done. All had to be hand applied every morning, airbrushed in, all the details. And you can't not pour over him all the sinews that are cut together. From what I understand, Del Toro went out of his way. If you're familiar with Bernie Wrightson, a very famous comic illustrator, did a graphic novel of Frankenstein, and he used his illustrations as a major point to make the monster look more like what this guy had drawn. But you're right. Frankenstein has always been like this grotesque monster. And here he's not. He's very eloquent. The Engineers is a spot on reference.
And once he gets hair, he looks like the lead singer from Buck Cherry. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy.
Well, I did see that he went out of his way to study like some Japanese boku dance style or whatever to kind of mimic his walk, and that he was studying Mongolian throat singing to kind of get that.
It just gave me a vibe that it was like a Twilight friendly to young audiences Frankenstein.
With his relationship with Elizabeth, because he's not threatening to her in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and it's not like a Beauty and the Beast situation. No. It's like Beauty and, the hot guy. Of course she's going to like him.
Yeah, Victor's the monster. Victor's the monster. He's the one. You created this thing, and now you don't know what to do with it. And he even says, I got so caught up in, could I do it? Should I do it? And now Victor, that I did it.
And he's not a good dad either, just like his father.
Well,
he changed the guy. He chains him up immediately. It's like, stay here.
He's afraid of him. He knows how. He saw the beginning of the movie. That thing lifted the whole damn ship out of the ice. It's like, oh, crap, I better put.
And then Elizabeth finds him. And she's like, did you hurt that man? No, I gave him life.
Yeah, she goes gaga for him. But she never questions where her uncle is.
I think she asks once, and he says, oh, he went away somewhere. And that was it. Never came up again.
Okay. So you're right. At this point, we're still being told this story from Victor to the captain. Is he taking notes? Like nothing. It's just, I got nothing better to do. That monster's outside, probably going to rip apart your crew. Let me keep going.
And Victor is jealous of the monster because Elizabeth likes him. He's like, your heart is pure.
So what do we decide to do? Blow up the castle.
The monster is getting fed up with Victor's lessons, and Victor is getting fed up that the monster only says Victor. I'd be kind of flattered if that's all somebody said was my name. Yeah.
It was like, well, this was a waste. Victor. And he realizes pretty quickly he can't kill him. This is where it gets a little unbelievable. I mean, there's a point where the guy's holding a stick of dynamite. What is this, a Bugs Bunny cartoon? Fucking this Daffy Duck's bill gets blown to the back of his face.
It's Yosemite Sam, yeah.
He would have been so right. So he could withstand bullets, and yet he doesn't need to breathe. Wouldn't he bleed out at some point? So does he even need blood? But he rejuvenates. But yeah, you would think this dynamite would at least take off a limb or two. There is a scene early in. There's a scene before either when he goes down in the ice or when he comes back out. You do see that 2 of his fingers are completely missing their meat. So they are just bone, which I thought was interesting. But we don't get more of that. Like if you really want to make this thing a monster, have him zapped by a space alien and half his face ripped off. But no, you don't go that way.
But this is where Victor's story ends when he's telling the captain when
after his leg
the
gets
castle blows up.
Yeah, he loses his leg in the explosion, and that's why.
Because he changes his mind at the last minute and tries to run back into the castle to save.
Dude. It's too late. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and William are riding away, and she's like, "Wait a minute, can we go back for a second? I think he's lying to us." Boom, there goes the castle. I was right. Damn it. And then the creature comes into the ship and he's like, "Oh, he told you your story? Now hear mine." Really? Now I got to sit through this whole stupid thing again?
Meanwhile, the crew are outside. That guy just killed Bob. What are you doing?
Right, correct. Right.
Egregiously.
No, let him come in. Let him come in. I want to hear his side. I'm a fair captain. So, but like I said, at least he didn't start from the beginning again. He started right there after the explosion, and he's now on the loose.
You know, he's like Goofy's son there, sliding down the chute in the Goofy movie to get out of the castle. He steals like a cloak from just some dead bodies he finds in the woods.
But I don't understand if he doesn't get cold, like he's literally in the bottom of the Arctic waters. He doesn't freeze. He doesn't breathe. So why would he even bother needing clothes?
He knows he's quote unquote ugly. Although that's arguable.
I don't know. Elizabeth told him he was hot.
Hence my problem.
He's got issues.
And hunters shoot him in the head as soon as they see him.
Right. I would too.
Doesn't deter him.
We'll ask questions later.
So this is where we get to the cabin. So I guess this cabin is just like a hunter's retreat, or do they live there? I wasn't really sure.
Well, I thought at first because there's all those wheels that look like it might have been like a grist mill. But then he hides in it. These people live there and he hides in it. They don't know that he's hiding in there for like an entire season.
And he's given them presents too, which they think is the spirit of the forest.
Which is fine. He wants to be the spirit of the forest. Don't be creeping through he's literally looking through a peephole. The blind man, once you're blind, aren't you supposed to like all your other senses get heightened? At some point, the old man would be like, "I think there's something in that wall over there." Nothing.
The wolves come during this scene.
This whole wolf scene made me mad. Everything up to this point has been as practical as possible. And that sheep that gets jumps over the fence and then gets taken out by the wolf is as CG as it comes.
Too bad they didn't make an homage to Alien Earth and have a giant eye on that sheep.
That would have been fantastic. But you're right. Now it's like a completely different movie because now it's just a monster on the run, and he befriends the old man. Because the family leaves and they leave the old man there. We're going hunting. We'll be back. We're going to hunt down those wolves.
We're taking the women and children, and everybody's leaving to go hunt the wolves.
They become friends. I can't see. You can't talk. Hey, we're friends now.
Yeah. Let's call the whole thing off.
How did he read? How does he know to read? Most people back then didn't know how to read at all. Not only could he read, he's friggin' spouting Bible verses there by the end. Yeah.
But the old man tells him to go back to the word he remembers, which is Victor, which is where he comes from.
Yeah, it really is tough being a monster. So misunderstood. Oh, he goes back to the castle. That's what. And he finds all the notes. This was another thing. So you're led to believe that at least a year has gone by. Am I wrong?
They're hunting these wolves for a very long time, whoever the family was.
But he goes back to the castle. It's all covered in snow, and yet all the notes are floating around. He picks them up, and he's like, "Oh, crap, I see what's going on here. That guy built me. That's me."
So now he knows what he is. He goes back to the old man and he sees that the wolves have come back and attacked him.
And they took out the old man. But of course, family shows up right at that moment.
But not
what
before,
did you do to him?
Not before he F's up these wolves something fierce. He rips the fur off the one. Yeah.
That is where my wife had to turn away. That's not a real wolf, right? No animals were harmed into making it in this movie.
But yeah, as you said, that very moment, the hunters come back after being gone what feels like a year.
Yeah, and that's inopportune timing right there.
So they chase him off. They're firing at him, and he's still on their property when they shoot him and he falls.
Right.
And then, like, months later, he wakes up. I'm like, they just left him there?
Oh, he's dead. I would have eaten him. I guess they could have just eaten
thrown him
wolves.
in the woods.
So wait, these people left to go hunt down the wolves. The wolves backtracked and took out the old man while they were away. Those wolves are smarter than anyone else in this movie. They're like, all right, they're going that way. Let's go back.
Yeah, they've probably been following the wolves for a year. Like, hey, they're leading us right back to the house.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Son of a wily coyote. I'm beginning to think that this monster is the only smart one in this whole movie.
So he wakes up, he goes back, and William and Elizabeth are just about to have their wedding.
So where is this castle that they're having this elaborate wedding that he finds them?
Was it their family home? I don't know.
Why didn't he just go there to begin with? Elizabeth.
Yeah, so he busts through, almost like Peter Boyle busting into
yes.
Madeline Kahn's chambers. Victor comes up, shoots Elizabeth accidentally trying to shoot the monster.
But he has this whole speech where he's like, you need to make me a companion. I'm like, oh, now we're going down Bride of Frankenstein road. And the only female in this entire movie is Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me you're going to kill her just to reanimate her so that he has someone to commiserate with? I monster, you monster.
One like me. And then Victor's like, an obscenity?
Dude, you made me. You're an abomination.
Never.
What? You're gonna hang out? You're gonna get a house? Pay for cable? You're gonna procreate? You're gonna get some kids? Go to the PTA? Huh? What do you want to do? You can't do that.
Doesn't take it well. Throws him around the room.
Deserves it. I would have taken that fake leg off him and just beat him with it. Victor, you're a piece of crap. There's somebody throwing petals, and throughout this whole scene, the petals, even when he's carrying Elizabeth away, the petals keep falling. I'm like, is this guy still over there just throwing petals off screen? Like, what is going on? He's like, well, he didn't tell me to stop. Petals it is.
Before Elizabeth dies, he escapes the house with her, brings her to his cave as she dies.
Is that necrophilia? I don't know. I think in a court of law, you could probably get away with it. But yeah, Elizabeth's shot. She dies. William's dead. Victor's down one leg.
We come up to where we began. Victor is on his way to the northernmost north, chasing the monster on a sled with dogs. What he's going to do when he finds the monster, I don't know, because he knows he can't.
But the monster's just teasing him, because the monster says, you need to come, you need to kill me. Like, he's like, just kill me. But then he like teases him. If you want to die, just let him kill you. No, I'm going to make it hard for you. I did read that there's that scene where Victor goes and he buys the dynamite. That dynamite is not invented until like 20 years later than what this movie takes place in. I'm like, that's what you're going to nitpick about? There was no dynamite back then. All right. Well, maybe that guy invented it and just didn't patent it yet.
Now we come up to speed. Now we're here with Victor and the monster.
Back to the ship. Yep. Where they see him blow up.
And they reconcile pretty easily. This is kind of like a Three's Company style misunderstanding. That's all it is.
Correct. It's like a therapy session.
Yeah. Say my name, like when it meant something to you.
Draw me. Jack, draw me like you do your French whores. The guys on the ship are like, what the F?
Because the captain, after Victor dies, he can leave. Again, what about Bob?
What about Bob? This guy just took out half your crew. Hey, by the way, before you leave, can you just push us out of the ice? And that's exactly what he does. So he
the captain finally concedes. It took him this entire story. We're going home.
Thanks to the monster.
Yeah.
We'd still be stuck here, moron. And then the monster just looks into the sun. He's got a little teardrop. So he's just going to live on. This is the most dysfunctional father-son relationship movie I've ever seen.
I thought it was too long, first of all.
It could easily be an hour shorter.
And again, I've said it before, but when Oscar Isaac is on screen, he just dominates.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the opposite in other Frankenstein movies, like especially the one that we covered before, the most recent before Young Frankenstein was The Bride, which had Clancy Brown as the monster. And it was complete the opposite. Well, you wanted some more Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
You didn't care about Sting.
Saying. Yeah.
But here it's Oscar that is just completely dominating this whole movie. And the monster scenes are kind of seem half-baked. Maybe because it's the actor again, maybe just because I thought he was not convincing as a monster. And when you see this guy without makeup, it's like, where do you see it? This guy is like a male model. So
no, he's pretty to look at. Yeah. Did you know that Andrew Garfield was originally cast as the monster?
Really?
He had to back out. Was originally cast as a monster, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. So he was replaced by this guy, Jacob Elordi, who we keep talking about. He plays a monster. And they'd already spent like 9 months crafting the makeup for Garfield, and then only had a few weeks to figure it out for this Elordi. You're not getting your classic Frankenstein's monster silhouette. He is a much more gangly, like you said, he's almost like a pretty boy. It didn't bother me probably as much as it did you. I thought it was just whatever. This is his vision, and I went with it, and I'm like, all right, this is, I understand why Elizabeth was attracted to him, but you're right. Victor, who is much more like a rock star, and Del Toro even said he wanted his Victor to be more like David Bowie and Mick Jagger, to have that kind of like that rock star swagger. Even like the way that they dress them and the color schemes and whatnot. But I find it interesting because Oscar Isaac, we also covered this movie Ex Machina, where he also was like the genius that created artificial life and then kind of paid the price for it.
Yeah. He's good at playing a jerk.
I think that at some point he had to realize I am bad guy in this movie.
I think it's a great movie when he's on, but the monster scenes didn't do it for me. I think it's visually breathtaking, as you said, but it was disappointing. There's many Frankenstein movies I would go to before I watch this one again.
Okay.
Including maybe our second feature.
Well, it's a hell of a lot shorter, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind seeing a 2-hour version of Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster, because we clearly did not get enough Space Monster. So I'm almost afraid to ask about your buckets then.
My buckets on this, I recognize it for the achievement that it is. Yeah. So out of 5 buckets, I think I'd give it 3 buckets.
Okay. All right. I am definitely going to go higher. I think artistically it is gorgeous. It is fantastic. I feel like everyone who was cast in this came to the table, played their roles. William gets a little shafted, but I think that he's just a mechanism to get Elizabeth into the story.
Absolutely. William is an afterthought.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder why he even went to that extreme of making her, like, she could still have rejected Victor without even introducing that relationship of William. Harlander could have still been her uncle without the attachment of William.
If she was single, then it would have made more sense Harlander trying to sell her off to Victor to get himself more in with Victor.
If anything, it just makes Victor even more of a jerk that he's going after his little brother's fiance. I'm shooting 4 1/4 on this.
4 1/4. Wow.
I thought that this was an interesting take. Guillermo, I think Pinocchio was a little bit of a miss. I almost want to go back and rewatch it now, because I really do feel like these are bookends of the same story in a large way, just told in very different formats.
I'm thinking that this is more of a bookend to Twilight. Next, we're going to see a mashup
could have been a sparkly
of Edward Cullen meets Frankenstein. Yeah, they're going to fight over a girl.
Yeah. 4 1/4 for me. I think it's on Netflix. Go check it out. It is long. I agree with you wholeheartedly. You could easily have streamlined this a bit. Yeah. And it does when you get to the monster side of the story. kind of becomes a different thing. But I guess that's the point, is that you're now getting it from the monster's point of view. I enjoyed it.
Well, we definitely need some kind of a snack. After almost 3 hours, come on.
Yeah.
All of our candies mostly begin like around the turn of the century. I feel like we should have some kind of banjo whenever we do this feature instead of popcorn. Or like a screen, the record, like the scratchy record effect. But today I'm bringing back the treat that I would have done had I done the concession for Tron Ares, which was red vines. And you can kind of parlay it into this. Frankenstein, there's a lot of veins going on in Frankenstein, blood
especially that
spurting.
lymphatic system you got going on. I bet you they probably made it out of red vines.
They probably did, yeah. I would have loved to have seen Victor just
pick it up and
chomping away. Yeah. All right, red vines. Licorice, quote unquote. Is it really? Red vines established by the American Licorice Company. Now, this company began in 1914. Started out in Chicago, like so many candy companies do. They rose to prominence, did the American Licorice Company, with the black licorice twist, which was truly licorice. The red variation didn't come out until the 1950s. So for years, the American Licorice Company made their money on the black licorice twist from 1914 to the mid-1950s. So when this came onto the market in the 1950s, can you imagine? It would be like from going black and white into color. Like,
what is this sorcery?
Silent movies into sound movies.
Right.
Like consumer base that was just used to eating disgusting black licorice for 4 decades, their taste buds have exploded. But I don't want to throw black licorice completely under the bus just yet, because as I said, American Licorice Company began in 1914 in Chicago. They moved some of their operations over to California in the 1920s, and because of that, Charlie Chaplin used them to make a boot for his movie The Gold Rush that he could eat on screen.
That's not a real boot he's eating?
It's not a real boot.
Wow.
It's made, the laces and the boot itself were made from their black licorice, which he then...
That's movie magic right there.
It is.
I like that.
Magic. So again, it was the 1950s when this company finally broke into the raspberry vines, as they called them at the time, which eventually turned to red vines. Red licorice is not really licorice. Only black licorice is made with actual licorice, but because the texture and the physical shape of it is very similar, everybody just calls it licorice. But I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting, because that's, wow, okay.
In 1963, red vines expanded into super ropes, which were the longest strands of licorice available, 34 inches long.
Oh my.
Talk about your Schwanz.
Stein's like, wow.
The 70s saw different flavors of your red vines. They came out in grape, peppermint, chocolate. They make about 1 million pounds a week of red vines.
Wow.
To this day. We really live in a Twizzlers-led society in terms of licorice.
Twizzlers, yes.
But in the 80s, red vines started coming in that round, see-through plastic jar, which I think is pretty synonymous with red vines. Tom Hanks dedicated most of his 1995 speech to the National Association of Theater Owners to red vines.
What?
So he talked mostly about red vines during that speech.
Was he paid by the candy company?
He just loves them. Jimmy Kimmel dropped red vines and junior mints from the ceiling at the 2017 Oscars when he hosted, to the celebrities down below. And red vines, of course, has a rivalry with Twizzlers. Twizzlers came out about 15 years after red vines. And again, they started in the black licorice business, did Twizzlers, because this again was still in the 20s. Twizzlers, and I find this hard to believe, I couldn't find any information negating this. Twizzlers didn't start their classic strawberry flavor until the mid-70s.
What?
So I'm like, Really? They were only doing black licorice from the 20s until the 70s? Maybe that's true, maybe not. Somebody tell us if I'm wrong. The rivalry is very regional based. Red Vines, because they were being made in both Chicago and California, have a very west of the Mississippi fan base. Where Twizzlers, because they're produced in Pennsylvania, are very dominant in the East. If you have anybody that hails from California, like your Tom Hanks or your Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, yeah, they are going to favor Red Vines because that's probably more dominant over there. While we never see Red Vines on the shelf, we just get our Twizzlers.
Level of licorice.
I don't really like licorice myself.
I hate it. I can't stand it.
So I was considering doing a taste test because you can get Red Vines here at like your Five Below specialty candy shops. But I'm like, am I going to buy a huge package of licorice just to taste one? You got to shove like an entire
string in your mouth just to get like any kind of, like, because it's just a little tiny, like a thin rope, right?
They do look similar. They're like twists, both.
Why am I thinking Red Vines are just like little tiny strings?
I thought that as well, but apparently not. They look very similar to Twizzlers. That just shows you that
I guess I'm more of a Twizzler guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was unwilling to do a taste test because I just don't like licorice that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, no surprise, people that live in the West swear by Red Vines, and it's the opposite on the East.
Can't we just meet somewhere in between?
You would think that we could, yeah. Did you ever watch the show Fringe, the sci-fi?
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently a character on that always ate Red Vines, the older guy that was on Fringe that worked with.
Yes, yeah.
So that show featured Red Vines often. Okay. And as a matter of fact, viewers successfully got Fox to renew Fringe when they inundated Fox with Red Vines.
I guess I didn't watch the show that closely then.
So they sent boxes and boxes of Red Vines to Fox until they just gave in and said, okay, forget it. Stop sending it to us.
Yes. Can you just stop sending me this crap? Fine, we'll renew the show.
And they dedicated an entire episode of Parks and Rec to the Red Vines versus Twizzlers debate, where half the characters wanted Red Vines and half wanted Twizzlers.
Okay. Yeah. How did they resolve that?
I don't know. I should go back and watch it, but I don't know how they resolved it.
Okay.
But there you go. That's my Red Vines take.
All right, I like it. Okay.
All right. Let's go into space, or actually just the beach.
Well, Puerto Rico. We're not going to space.
That ship looked like it was part of a playground. I actually had a UFO like that in my local playground when I was growing up.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
You see, they cut back and there's a little kid swinging underneath.
Yeah, it was all open on the sides, like it wasn't completely enclosed, but it looked very similar.
That was the 60s and 70s, man. Space was in.
Frankenstein meets the space monster.
Now, I have two different dates, 65 or 66 this dropped.
I saw 65 in all the stuff that I looked at.
IMDb says 66. There were two different dates. It doesn't matter. Mid 60s.
Release date 1965, released by Allied Artists Pictures, not the most reputable distribution
these
company.
Are probably all those back in the day. If we go back to all those stupid, silly monster movies.
It just blows my mind, though, that you could see a movie like this in general release. A terrible, terrible movie like this. You could actually go to the theater.
Was it terrible back then?
I don't know. I don't know if it was.
I don't think film was really regarded as high art. It was mindless entertainment.
But you've got to know, even in 1965, when you're watching this, that like 65% of this movie is stock footage.
Yeah, 65% is stock footage. But as a kid, I wouldn't know what stock footage was. Oh my God, I guess someone went out and filmed those astronauts.
Wow, they must have really broke the bank on this movie.
The budget is out of control.
They hired the army.
The other 35% is just one big travelogue for Puerto Rico.
And it's like a music video for this group, the Distant Cousins, I think their name was.
I thought this was a pretty jamming soundtrack. Beach hip. Like, all right, man, Moondoggy, let's go.
Very, very early Rolling Stonesy kind of sound to this group.
Yeah, I think there was one song I actually recognized.
Really? Or
So,
they just plagiarized a song that you recognized?
It could be. It could very well be. Yeah. I don't think anyone was looking too closely at this thing.
But yeah, the time has not been kind to the actual film stock of this movie because the opening title is just like mangled.
Yeah, they didn't. This has not been cleaned up in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And this was on Tubi?
I watched it on Tubi, but you said you had problems with Tubi.
Yeah. Tubi was giving me issues. It told me that I didn't have the rights to watch it. I actually had to pay the $2.99 on Amazon, which I'm not going to complain about. $2.99, I'll pay for this movie. I don't know who that goes to.
Starts right off with your stock footage.
Yeah. Well, no, we start with the monster silhouette.
Don't go away yet. There is a monster here. Don't go away.
Yeah, well, we're told right in the title we got a space monster coming up. 77 minutes. This thing is just blink and you'll miss it. Like you said, they probably didn't even edit it for time on TV.
No, this is a TV station's dream. This movie. Yeah.
It's a fever dream for any parent who leaves their kid in front of it, though, because, like you said, the weird stock footage video montage at the beginning, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching right now?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Bad stock footage. It's grainy, really difficult to see stock footage.
But are we led to believe that this is what the aliens are watching?
No, I think, okay, so you're shown a satellite dish.
Yeah, is that what that was?
So maybe you're thinking, okay, we're tracking aliens.
Yeah. Something.
And then you've got bad grainy stock footage of like space or a satellite falling to Earth and the sun. And then suddenly you're in this alien spaceship. You're looking at what looks like Batboy from that National Enquirer cover, if you remember.
You're spot on. I'm watching. So his name is Dr. Nadir. And I'm like, is this John Lovett? Like, yeah,
is this his father at least?
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. This guy knew what type of movie he was in.
Yeah.
He was hamming it up. There were scenes where he was stepping up in front of the camera, and then he would look at the camera, and he's like, "Hey, let's go!" And now, maximum energy.
But he is talking exactly like John Lovitz. He looks like John Lovitz.
Yeah, as the Batboy. You're right. Yeah. The skull caps on these guys is just the makeup is horrendous. This is Plan 9 from Outer Space level special effects.
And only two of the aliens are shown without their helmets on. So the makeup tries to cover their brows and, gives them bald caps and big like Spock pointy ears.
Yeah.
But you can tell that the guys, when they show their faces in the helmets, they still have their eyebrows.
Have everything, Yeah. But the ears look like somebody made those out of silly putty. And they're not even shaped. They're just like, you literally see like fingerprints squished into the clay.
And yet the alien princess is completely normal looking.
Yeah, she's a hottie. She's a hottie. She had hair. These guys don't.
So they're in this spaceship and they are escaping their destroyed planet, which they had a nuclear war. And they're the only survivors and everybody else is like mutated on the planet. And they were tasked with going to find women to repopulate their planet.
Why does Mars always need women?
Now, this is interesting. They never actually say in the movie that they're from Mars, but all the promotional material says that they're from Mars. Yeah.
But that's also where this Colonel Saunders is headed toward.
Colonel Saunders, really?
Colonel Saunders. He looked like fried chicken by the end. What's the matter, Colonel Chicken?
I didn't realize his last name was Saunders. That's funny.
It is. Dr. Franken Saunders.
Now, according to IMDb, this was supposed to be a comedy when it was first conceived. They pulled it back.
Opportunity. I think the studio.
I think it still is. I think it still is.
Not rightfully.
Yeah.
Hold on, because there is a great. So apparently, one of the scenes. Right. So you're right. This is supposed to be a parody of sci-fi and horror, and one of the things that was a recurring joke was that he was all built from different parts. He was literally Frankenstein. From different dead parts, and one of his legs was from a dead tap dancer. But whenever you heard the song Sweet Georgia Brown, you'd immediately start to tap dance and not stop.
So it's like the Red Shoes, but as like a horror movie or a horror comedy. That would have been brilliant if he had just stopped and started a tap dance.
That's how you just take him out.
They probably couldn't get the rights to Sweet Georgia Brown.
If the Harlem Globetrotters showed up, this guy would be dead right now. Just his leg would still be dancing. Yeah, Curly and maybe. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, Curly's the only one I remember of the Globetrotters.
Meadowlark Lemon.
Was he a Globetrotter?
Meadowlark Lemon was the leader.
So on Earth, we're trying test space launches, and the aliens think that they're being attacked, so they keep blowing up the rockets.
There's a missile aimed right at us. But this is, like you said, so we're introduced to these aliens, and then we get these lovely montage shots of like kitschy 1960s Cape Canaveral. And I mean, you're going right down the highway with all these roadside attractions, and I'm like, oh, I wish like that still existed.
Yeah, I know.
Stuff. One of them was the Mousetrap Steakhouse. Who the F would want to eat at a steakhouse called the Mousetrap? This is all footage of, some travel log, or somebody was, promoting Cape Canaveral or Cocoa Beach or Cape Kennedy, whatever down there.
But they cut the travelogue and they go back in the car, and one guy says, "How much longer, General?" "Oh, about 5 minutes." Then they go back to the travelogue.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's see what else you're driving by.
Yeah.
But these are like those movies where you got to see like old Las Vegas, the old Strip, and you just see like all those circus and when they were in their heyday. Stuff like that. I love seeing stuff like this. So this made me I want to go to Cape Canaveral now. Yeah. This is like kitschy 60s highway Americana.
And they actually showed the road sign for Cape Canaveral.
Yep.
That they got off the exit on.
Or was it Cape Kennedy?
Cape Kennedy. That's what it was.
Kennedy, yeah. Which I don't even know if it's called that, because it was like the JFK Space Center. This was 66. He was killed in 63. They immediately was like, we're going to name this after him.
But the reason they're going there is they're holding a press conference with their new astronaut.
He's an astrobot.
Now, apparently his boss is Dr. Adam Steele, who you later find out made him. This is Jim Caron. He's the Pathmark guy. He was in all the Pathmark commercials in the 70s, and he was also in Hercules in New York as pretty much the same role.
Okay, as a Pathmark guy.
No, well, he was the head guy that knew Hercules was Hercules, and he was chasing him around New York, just like this guy is chasing Colonel Sanders.
That was a long time ago when we covered that one. Yeah, but you're right. This funky soundtrack, that some of these songs are just so hippy dippy.
And when it's not like the sub Rolling Stones rock band soundtrack, it's like this really weird synthesizer, like ew, ew, ew.
Well, that's like old Alien. That's every Alien movie from the 60s. 40s through the 60s.
This press conference is so. The guy is answering questions, this Colonel Frank, and suddenly the screen freeze frames.
I actually thought
my
TV broke.
I did too, because it's silent.
And it just freezes
and it's obvious that it's a freeze frame. It's not like he's holding still.
No,
it's a freeze frame.
What is going on here?
After maybe 10 seconds of this, it cuts to the other characters. They're like, Frank, and then it goes back to the freeze frame.
Yeah, it's and it's a real tight close up on his face too. So you're just like, I don't know what's going on here. He's a robot.
They dismiss all the reporters, and they reveal that this guy has been built from dead body parts with a...
There's your Frankenstein.
Your Frankenstein time.
But he's got like robot things in his head. He's got like he's got like the transistor tubes that you find in the back of the old TVs stuck in his head.
So they can control him very much like Jet Jaguar, right? So they tell him what to do.
Yeah, they lose control pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
So that's the whole premise, is that they were going to, because all these rockets have been blowing up, they're going to send this robot up because they don't want to waste human life.
So we put billions of dollars into making a robot so we can blow him up instead. Yeah. Isn't this why we chose dogs and monkeys initially back in the day?
But they send him up to space. There's more stock footage of rockets and astronauts getting in capsules and stuff.
Yeah, it's a long montage.
But of course, the aliens think it's another missile, so they blow him up. Yeah.
Right. And now, maximum energy.
You see stock footage of the rocket just obliterating, just exploding completely, and yet the capsule still falls to Earth with Frank intact.
And initially, I'm like, he's still on Florida. He's walking around like he's in friggin' on another planet. No, he's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and all he does is wander the beach for the entire movie.
So they don't know where he is.
The aliens are like, "You fool. That wasn't a missile. That was a spaceship. We have to kill that astronaut before he lets them know."
Like you did, like the rest of the world didn't see you shoot it down.
He saw us. So
He saw us? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he didn't see us.
they land the spaceship, and that's where you get that playground effect. UFO that's
And at
very
first
stationary. It's very stationary.
Confusing me because they basically have NASA style spacesuits. So I'm like, are these humans? No, these are supposed to be the aliens.
Yeah, they're completely like Halloween costume level
Yeah.
spacesuits. Frank comes upon a couple of these aliens, and as you said, he gets shot. And another freeze frame, and this is pretty effective, actually. They just show like half of his face after being shot is completely burned and like garbage, and the other half is still regular human.
And
So
his
he's like
eyes
Two-Face
Yeah.
from Batman.
A low budget Two-Face.
And the camera freeze frames on his bad side, and again you get that whew, 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 whew. I remember that shot more than anything from when I was a kid watching this on TV.
Yeah, it's the shock, the reveal.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, why was there a guy in flannel and a shotgun walking around in Puerto Rico? What was he hunting?
He's hunting wabbits.
The alien shoots that guy and they just explode. They just, boom, they're obliterated.
Yeah.
And then you're right. This is where then he shoots Frank. Yeah.
So from this point on, Frank just wanders aimlessly on the beachy rocks by the ocean.
Yeah, we're apparently at some kind of a killing glitch that just kicked in.
Yeah, because he's killing everybody he comes across.
Now he's just killing. There's a scene where there's a couple in the car and he just strangles this guy and the girl. I'm like, can you kill the girl that's dead? Because she is obnoxious. She just keeps screaming. No, shrieking girl lives. Her boyfriend, not so much.
The aliens now that they're on Earth, they start to capture women because that's why they're here. So they capture the first girl that they capture was it a father and his daughter? Was it a married couple? I thought that was
Hunter J. Thompson hanging out on the beach with his illegitimate underage girlfriend. I don't know. Yeah.
Because it's this girl in a bikini trying to make poses to get the man to look at her, and he's just reading the newspaper.
He's reading the newspaper, because what else do you do on the beach? You read the newspaper with a cigar. You got your little floppy Gilligan hat on. Yeah. I don't know.
So the aliens come and capture the girl, and they zap the guy and obliterate him on the beach.
Yeah, but we also get the scene where Frank comes upon the guy cutting up coconuts, and he just takes the machete and starts hacking the guy up. I'm like, what the f*** is going on? Frank is out of control.
And meanwhile, the Pathmark guy and his
the Pathmark guy
and his girlfriend.
But we talked about Elizabeth's attraction to the monster. I think here she's slightly attracted to Frank.
They put two and two together. He must still be out there somewhere. If he wasn't in the capsule, what if his brain was damaged? He'd be a blank, wandering, aimless. You mean like a Frankenstein?
Oh, bring it home, baby.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
And his name is literally Frank. They've named him Frank. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't think that through at all, did we? Yeah, but this is where it's like this 10-minute Vespa Puerto Rico ad campaign. They're just driving around on a Vespa.
So the army has told them that if we find your creation, we're going to destroy it. Not if we get to him first, but first we're going to drive through Puerto Rico leisurely while this song plays.
Yep. They're sightseeing.
And she's clutching his chest, holding on to him on the back of the scooter.
Oh, they're laughing. They're enjoying themselves.
He's pointing out, touristy attractions.
Yeah. There it is.
But meanwhile, Miss Bikini gets brought back to the spaceship, and the princess is like, turn around.
Yeah,
raise your arms.
This is very gratuitous.
Yeah.
He's like, now bend over. Now pick up those watermelons. It's like, what are you doing, princess? She should worry if she's the only female left. You're lucky that's the only way to repopulate your planet.
They cut their romantic interlude short, the two on the scooter, and they managed to find Frank, who's hiding in a cave by the
I don't know
water.
how they found him.
I don't
Did
know.
they
Well,
have
they
some
had
kind
a
of
tracker. They had
some kind of a tracking thing.
whatever that Jet Jaguar thing was. It also tracked him. Mr. Pathmark says to the girl, "Go get help. I'll stay here with him."
Yeah.
She goes and gets captured by the aliens because she's a woman and they need women.
And once again.
And they're trying to figure out, what is this tracking device? What is this that you have? She won't tell them. So they said, put her next to Mole. That'll convince her.
So again, this is only 77 minutes long, and I just keep going, where's the freaking space monster?
Yep.
I want to see the space monster. We do get mentioned, the princess mentions Mole the space monster. And we do see him in the cage, and I'm like, oh, he's cool. Like that's a cool monster. If I was 7 years old watching this movie, I'm like, that's a scary ass monster.
It is, yeah. And I thought so myself. And it's what it is. It's to look at it now, it looks ridiculous, but it's got like a big furry gorilla body, and it's got like some kind of demon skull face on top of it.
No, it's the face. Did you read who was in the costume?
Yes, Crispin Glover's dad.
That's genius.
But he's also
so
the second. He's also the second crew member that you see with the ears and the bald cap. Yeah, that's him too.
He's doing double duty. He also played Mr. Wint in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yes, that's where I know him from. That's where I know him from.
James Bond movies, right there. So there's a scene where they also come upon a pool party and they start rounding up the women there, and they're shooting the men. Like there's chaos going on.
Yes, but not before they play like another whole song and you just see everybody dancing to this song.
Listen, it's a pool party.
So now they have like an assembly line of women that they're bringing back to the ship. I'm like, there's no way that this little ship is going to carry all these women, but nope, they get them on there.
Yeah.
Then they put them on a conveyor belt for the purification process.
Listen, this brings me back to that Don Johnson movie, Boy and His Dog. Yeah, you gotta get him ready for reproduction.
And there's the one poor girl. Didn't seem to me that there was anything wrong with her, but the princess was like, no. And
I know, like your standards need to be lowered. Yeah, she's not childbearing hips. Like, what's going on? I don't know.
And as all these girls are getting seated and getting put on this conveyor belt, all the bloops and bleeps on the spaceship suddenly sound like wolf whistles. Like, woo, 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 woo.
You have to know if they pass the test or not.
Okay, so Mr. Pathmark left his girlfriend to be abducted by aliens. He also leaves Frank to go call the general. And this is such a racist. He goes to this guy who can't speak English. He says telephone 10 times in a row. Telephone. Telephone. And he does the dialing motion. Then he says El Telefono. And the guy understands.
Understands it. Oh, I gotcha. El Telefono. This away-o. How else is that guy going to understand? The 60s were.
So you see Frank, he goes back to Frank and you see like a close up of all like the exposed transistors on his head, and he like gives him some zaps so he listens to what he tells him.
He's got like a little electrode, like if you're trying to jumpstart your truck.
So he and Frank, they come out of the cave, they find the alien spaceship. Meanwhile, inside, Karen has got so tired of screaming she's fainted, and apparently the monster is also sleeping because that takes a lot out of him too.
It takes a lot out of him. It's like, I can't. Can somebody shut her up?
Can I stop terrorizing just for a half an hour and just take a nap?
Well, you need a monster nap.
Yeah,
monsters need naps too.
I'm still laughing at El Telefono. That is.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't played for laughs.
And there's one scene where the general says, scramble the jets. And you just see these guys run out of a building and get in a station wagon.
They couldn't afford jet footage. That's beyond our budget.
Frank gets captured by the aliens. He's brought onto the spaceship. Karen calls out to him as they lay him out on the table.
Just get shot. And yet they decide to capture him.
As Frank is on the ship and Karen's on the ship, the jets are shooting at the spaceship.
Yeah.
And they're all saying, our shots appear to be doing nothing. I'm like, well, maybe if you hit it directly, it would.
Just keep hitting trees, sir. I don't know what's going on.
We must leave immediately. And the princess says, they can't hurt us. They have nuclear weapons. If they use them, we're finished.
Yeah. Remember why we left our planet?
Frank, before they can leave, Frank busts his chains or whatever they have him tied up with, frees the girls, fights the monster on board the ship, and the ship takes off as Frank and the monster are fighting on it.
And this is what I want to see more of.
Yeah, it was
to the last 2 minutes of the movie to show
it was
them.
Apparently they had even less of it that's in the movie because they had to make reshoots. They realized they didn't have enough fight footage, so they had to bring other actors in as Frank and as the monster to get some like pickup
Wait, there
shots.
wasn't stock footage of a monster fighting.
No,
a
there
robot?
wasn't. Nope.
No. It'd be great if it's just a completely different robot and monster fighting added on the end of the movie.
The ship takes off with them fighting. It blows up. Karen cries and hides her face. The end. Suddenly, it is the most abrupt ending I've ever seen. They don't even get to eulogize him like most movies would. He did kill some people, but he had a good heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nope. That's a lot of wasted tax dollars.
As the credits roll, they go back to that same scene of them on the scooter driving through Puerto Rico.
Well, listen, we have it on footage. Let's play it. All right. As long as we're here, we might as well make it a nice little honeymoon.
This film was ranked number 7 in the 50 worst movies ever made.
Did see that. Only 7?
Only number 7. Only number 7.
Still want to see that sweet Georgia Brown scene.
That would have been so good.
We
that
would
really
still be talking about it.
So now this was fascinating to me. The Bat Boy, the John Lovett's alien.
Dr. Nadir.
Dr. Nadir was played by Luke Cuddle, who is well known to Seinfeld fans. In one episode, he played the Ass Man, the proctologist who had the Ass Man license plate. Yeah.
Ass Man. I actually have a customer on my route who has an Ass Man license plate on
really?
his big Cutlass, whatever.
Really?
Car. I think it's the same car. That's pretty funny. Luke Cuddle.
And one of the girls, I assume it was the blonde in the bikini, was Playboy's Playmate of the Month in 1959.
Well, no wonder why she was rolling around on the beach. That makes perfect sense now. Mm-hmm. She thought that somebody was taking a picture of her.
Yep.
It was like a little camera club.
And the close-up of Frank's head when the doctor is trying to fix him in the cave is actually the close-up of a wristwatch taken apart.
It's not even his head.
No.
They didn't even bother trying to make makeup. Like, just shoot the wristwatch. All right. This is the kind of movie that I would like to see remade.
Yes.
And it needs to be a comedy. And they
need to pull back that Georgia Brown scene. They need to put that back in.
Poke fun of all these. Have we really gotten something like that? Like a real fun parody take on all these 50s and 60s monster movies
I think
of the time?
there is. Oh, I wish I had known you were going to bring that up, because there is a modern day. When I say modern day, it's in the 2000s, in that decade. The Skeleton of Cadavra, I think it was called, and it was done in black and white. And on some of the Sony Godzilla releases, this was the trailer is before the Godzilla movies. So I've never seen it, but it looks like they attempted something like that. The guns that the aliens used, were Whammo air blasters.
Whammo. Brought to you by Whammo. I'm surprised they didn't just throw Frisbees at these things.
Okay, it's the Playmate of the Month. The Playboy Playmate of the Month was the princess, not the girl in the bikini.
Oh. Well, then why did we see her? Was she trying to actually get an acting gig?
I guess so, yeah.
She's like, you need to take me seriously. I'm not taking my clothes off. Yeah, you would have thought the girl in the bikini would have been the girl. Wow.
I really like this movie. I thought it was
fun.
such a
it's
fun.
Fun. Yeah.
It made me laugh out loud several times as I watched it yesterday. Just for that alone, I'll give it props. I was more entertained by this than Guillermo's Frankenstein.
Well, it's definitely a different, completely different genre.
And I have very fond memories of watching this on TV. Even as a kid, I knew this was like garbagey. Usually what they would do, they would usually have like 2 or 3 movies on Saturday afternoon. And this one was always the first one to kind of get it out of the way.
Just whet your appetite for
before they gave you the good sci-fi or horror movie or whatever it was. So you kind of had to sit and wait through this one to get to the good stuff. But I always liked this. And I always thought that the Bat guy was funny, the John Lovitz guy.
Sure.
I'm going to give this 3.5 buckets. If I gave Frankenstein 3, I'm going to give this 3.5.
Okay. I agree with you. This is entertaining. I wanted more of it. Sometimes these stupid movies get so caught up in talking heads, and they just replace that with this montage stock footage crap. But whatever, it was entertaining. I'll give it 3. I'll give a solid 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah, the monster's fun monster. You want to see more of him.
Yeah.
It's like you're telling me right there in the title. This is not Abbott and Costello meet Dracula, which is fine, but there's other
and that is actually accurate because Abbott and Costello don't fight Dracula per se or Frankenstein.
No,
they do meet them.
Yeah.
I think they should have used like versus the space.
Yes,
monster.
correct. Yeah, make it a little more adversarial.
Yeah, it's not like they're sitting down and having lunch and talking. So
I can't believe it. I'm sure that would have been funnier. Yeah, so tell me about this leg of yours.
So Frank, Colonel Sanders, this is Mull. Mull. This is Frank.
And Saunders. Yeah, it's something else. I did see that all the interiors were shot in Hempstead, New York, which is out on Long Island. So,
but they did go to Puerto Rico, did they not, to film that whole scooter scene?
In fact, there's multiple titles. This movie was released across the country, and it has different names. So, like you said, meets the Space Monster. In the UK, it's Duel of the Space Monsters. And then there is Frankenstein Meets the Spacemen, Mars Attacks Puerto Rico, Mars Invades Puerto Rico, and Operation San Juan. Operation San Juan. That's telling me absolutely nothing.
The song was called To Have and to Hold, and the group is the Distant Cousins. So if you want to have a chuckle, go seek that out somewhere. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
I wonder if they probably didn't release soundtracks for the movies like this back in the day, did they?
I doubt it.
Yeah, because the pool party, that's the way it's got to be. And it's actually a little funky, upbeat beach tune. Hmm. So, like I said, one of the songs in here sounded vaguely familiar. So, whether they were just aping the style of the day or whatnot, but go check it out. It's on Tubi.
That's the ticket.
That's the ticket. Yeah, missile coming our way. So, there you go. Go check it out.
So did we do anything else this week?
I know, geez, we're not going to be able to talk about your experience for a bit. Next week, you're going to go see
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
We are traveling way upstate in New York to Buffalo to see him. So it's going to be about a 5-hour drive for me to get there.
Wow. Well, at least you're not flying.
Yeah, I'm not flying. But this is the only show in New York that he's playing for this particular tour.
And he chose Buffalo.
Yeah, he chose Buffalo.
That is interesting. Well, that should
probably
be fun.
The itinerary is probably bringing him like he's taking a swing around that area, the Great Lakes area, maybe.
So that's not in like the football stadium. It's indoor stadium.
It's in. I hope so. It's in November in Buffalo.
I know it's already got a foot of snow up there. This was a couple of weeks ago now, but I did make it down to ChillerCon in New Jersey.
Yes.
Specifically went with an agenda. Because if anybody who listens to the show knows I'm a bit of a Back to the Future nerd, and Mark McClure, who plays Marty's brother, but also is pretty well known as Jimmy Olsen from the original Christopher Reeve Superman series, was doing a very rare signing. And so I said, I have to go. I have to add him to my poster. And so I made it a priority. I actually had to call sick out of work that day. Even though the show didn't open until 6:00 at night on a Friday. Shot down there, stood in line, got my poster signed. It was chaos. It was absolute chaos. There was the B-level actors that were there is just insane. And the people that were waiting in lines for some of the stuff was crazy. But Huey Lewis was there. So this year is the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future. So they had a few guys. The guy who played Marvin Berry and Mayor Goldie Wilson were both there outside driving around in their vehicles with the white van. Vote for Mayor Goldie Wilson. So that was fun. They had the Ecto one. They had the car from Back to the Future. They had a DeLorean all decked out, and from National Lampoon's Vacation. But Huey Lewis was the big draw. He was his line was out the door all day long, and I didn't find prices until I was driving down there. $120 for an autograph, $120 if you wanted it, a selfie with him, and $60 if you wanted to add any kind of either a quote from one of the movies he was in or from one of the songs.
So 120 for an autograph and 120 for a photo, and if you wanted both, it was 240.
Yep, there you go. There was no cut rate. And I opted, so I already have him on my Back to the Future poster, and I toyed with the idea of just getting him to add a line of from one of the songs, one of the two songs that play in Back to the Future, and I opted out of that, and I just paid the $160 for a one-on-one photograph, professionally shot. Oh, so.
What did they have, like a studio off the table?
Yes.
And
so they have and they had specific times, and I was smart because there was a couple other guys I wanted autographs from, and I raced around. I got those. I went through the vendor room, bought myself a Empire Strikes Back lunch pail that I was missing. Probably overpaid for it, but I don't care. Everything's cash too, by the way.
Oh.
And then I got in line. So like photos with him started at like 7:50. 7 o'clock, and I was just like, it was like 7:10 or something. I said, I'll just go get in line now, and if they tell me I gotta wait, then I'll just back up. I was pretty smart because there was only 13 people in front of me by the time he showed up about 8 o'clock. So I was able to get in, get out, engage in a little conversation with him, and then I left and raced home. So yeah, but Randy Quaid was there. I also got to meet the husband and wife team, Emmy Joe and Doug from New Zoo Review, if you remember this show.
Yeah.
So this is I think it's probably like the Magic Garden. It was probably only localized to the tri-state area. I don't know how big it was, but the second day I missed out. Freddie the Frog was there.
And in costume, I hope.
In costume, the whole costume, yes.
Yeah, because I could show up. I was Freddie the Frog, eh?
Well, what was funny was, I walked up to these two, and, they're husband and wife, and they're so personable. She gave me a hug. We're talking. The daughter runs their Facebook page, and so I was talking to her. And when I mentioned my name, she goes, recognize that name. Now, whether she really did or not, I don't know. But she made me feel like, she actually paid attention if I posted anything. And they were super friendly. They took pictures with me. We chatted. And when I said I was disappointed to not meet Freddie the Frog, Doug leans in and he says, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not the real Freddie. It's just like, I didn't really think the costume lasted 50 years, but so anyway, so that was fantastic. And I walked away almost giddier meeting them than I did Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
No, but there were some big names there. Tara Reid was there. There was a whole room devoted to Seinfeld, all these second and third rate characters.
I wonder if the Ass Man was there.
I don't know. That's a good question. Now that I think about it, I will tell you that I can't think of the actor's name. It's Gold, Jerry Gold. And it was funny because they were in the gold room. So I'm like, did they purposely do that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I did go to I went to the Joe Bob thing. That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I got that to talk about too.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me about Joe Bob. Joe Bob Briggs.
Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl came to the Bardavon Theater in Poughkeepsie, New York on October 23rd. And I got my tickets very, very early for that.
Was it sold out?
No, not anywhere near sold out.
Oh, no. The Bardavon's not that big.
No, it's not.
Wow.
I felt bad, but there were enough people there.
Diehards, right?
The diehards, yes. So it was two movies that they were showing and hosting. It was Bubba Hotep, which we have covered on this show, and Rock and Roll High School, which is the Ramones movie starring PJ Souls. So,
rock.
Yep. These are both big cult movies. So just like on his show on Shudder, Joe Bob comes out at the beginning of the show. He introduced the two movies. He gave us, some background on Bubba Hotep and Bruce Campbell. And then in between came out and he did the same thing for Rock and Roll High School. And there was also a Q&A in between the two movies. Because Joe Bob Briggs is a longtime movie host and movie reviewer. So he's got a lot of, and he's been in movies as well as an actor. So he's got a lot of stories. Now, when we first got there, they came out, Joe Bob and Darcy, to the front of the Bardavon in the lobby and sat behind the merch table and gave some autographs for a half an hour. They went back for a little bit during the first movie and all through the second movie. So they made sure that they got everybody that came. Yeah. We were lucky enough to get there early, so we got their autographs first before the first movie even started. But, you get up to the table, what do you say to these people? I know. Yeah. So there was a little bit of conversation. I mentioned something about, the show and how big
Your
of a
biggest fan.
Yep, I'm a big Godzilla fan. Why don't you ever do Godzilla on the show? And they're like,
we don't have the licensing rights.
Yeah. So that type of thing. But when we left after Rock and Roll High School was over, they were still at the merch table signing autographs, and they weren't about to leave until everybody got their autographs signed. Yeah,
that's good to hear.
I would say the Bardavon was maybe 40%.
Really?
And that's not even counting the balcony. We got balcony seats, the first row.
They moved you forward.
They didn't move us forward. I just bought first row tickets for the balcony because, I just like to be above everything.
Sure. Yeah. I'm above it all.
There was only 20 other people in the balcony.
Wow.
But it was the diehards. They were the people that were there were diehard.
And you look around, you're like, look at all these nerds that are here. These morons.
Because one of the Q&A questions from somebody there was like, some girl said, do you feel that you're providing a gateway to younger kids into horror? And he said, a gateway? He says, we're on Shudder. I'm lucky if like 10 people watch it.
I was going to say, the audience, are there any kids around?
Yeah.
Do you see people bringing children? I mean, Bubba Hotep's not horror per se.
Yeah, they were two pretty benign movies to show.
Yeah.
But
I did see years ago when Bubba Hotep was making the rounds. I saw it in Manhattan, an advanced screening, and I believe that Bruce Campbell and the director were there. We just went to go see the movie. We didn't stick around for anything, but that's cool.
Yeah, so gracious, so nice. He was nice to everybody, and he was signing whatever. Good. Like you did have to pay for it. Yeah, it wasn't included in your ticket, but
they probably don't pay these guys a lot to do this. Yeah. And like you said, he's on Shudder, got a very finite audience.
Right. And he's got like a new hardcover book out, a compendium of all of his reviews, his older movie reviews.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, we should do that with this show.
Yeah. So I bought the book and I had him sign that.
See, that would have been my move. Yeah. Yeah. It's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when I was at Chiller. This guy had written, he's actually in Back to the Future 3, Michael Klastorin. But he wrote like these behind the scenes books for Back to the Future and Back to the Future, the musical. And I already had the one book, but then I got talking to him and he was showing me stuff inside the musical book. And so I bought it and he signed that one as well. So that was above and beyond what I originally had planned on spending. But he was telling me a lot of stuff, behind the scenes stuff, because he was writing that book at the time.
Yeah.
So I like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and nerdy.
Yeah. So we both had very nerdy experiences then. Oh. Since last time.
Maybe next time we speak, you'll tell us your Paul McCartney story.
So next time we speak actually is our huge Thanksgiving Monster Fest. Right, yeah, it's all about the monsters.
We are straight up monsters. I am so excited. Thanksgiving to me, for whatever reason, just has that special place in my heart.
It does.
A very unique feeling that I have about that day.
Well, it's the whole atmosphere, the weather. It hasn't started snowing yet, but you've got you're about as autumn as you can be with Thanksgiving. The leaves are off the trees.
Yeah, it's toasty warm inside. You got the turkey is in the oven. Family's over. Football's on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. My wife's not even going to be around. She'll be in Malaysia. They're sending her away. I'll see you when you go home. if you get home.
And the other big thing that makes it special for me is the Godzilla and King Kong movies.
Yes. So we're quickly running out of King Kong movies.
We are, so much so that we're going to a non-Kong giant ape movie this time around.
I'm not going to complain.
The Mighty Peking Man, also known as Goliathon in some circles. So I think it's actually called Goliathon. We're going to have to get it under that title on Prime. I don't think it's available under its Peking Man title.
Well, is there a difference?
No, it's just different. It's just different titles.
I wonder if my library has a copy.
Been renamed over the years. So that is the quote unquote Kong movie that we're doing, which is the Mighty Peking Man / Goliathon. The Godzilla movie that we're covering this year is Terror of Mechagodzilla, which is the last movie of the classic original Showa Godzilla run. Yeah. Yes. We already covered Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which was the previous movie in the series. So this is the second appearance of Mechagodzilla.
So what year would that be?
This came out in Japan in 1975. Didn't make it to us here until 78, I want to say, or maybe even 79.
So because you probably read Fangoria,
Yep.
Fangoria, and all those. So you would have known that this movie was released in Japan, and then it's like a 3-year wait.
I don't think so, actually, because Fangoria didn't start publishing until 79. First of all, I did read famous Monsters.
Famous Monsters, which was a predecessor.
I don't believe that they reported on the Godzilla movies that opened in Japan.
So as a kid, you just don't even know that this stuff
I don't even know that they exist. No, until they. Like, for example, Godzilla vs. Megalon came out in 73 in Japan. It didn't get released in the U.S. until 76. That's when I knew about its existence, was in 76.
And that's when they put the movie poster for the U.S. They're on top of the World Trade Center?
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking advantage of some 76 Kong there.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there, Monkey Man. We're going to do the same thing with our guy. Wow.
But that's what we're doing. Terror of Mechagodzilla and the Mighty Peking Man.
Peking. All right. Maybe I'll have some Peking duck.
Yeah.
On Thanksgiving. Very cool. Well, I'm excited. This is our 8th annual monster double feature.
It always seems to sneak up on us in no time at all. So
I know. It's crazy. So we're going to have to push Wicked 2 back until December just to take care of this.
Yeah. We got to have our Monster Fest. I will
tell you, I rewatched Wicked last night because it's now streaming.
Did you?
Oh, it's so good. Solid. Even my wife was getting into it because it was the first time she had seen it.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we saw it on Broadway. Don't get me wrong, but yes, I'm a nerdy when it comes to those songs. Some of that stuff is good. So anyways, all right. Well, thanks a lot. Go check out Frankenstein. On Netflix and Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster
on Tubi. Hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I know. Unlike Jeff. But fast forward to the last 5 minutes just so you can see them actually meeting. All right. Until next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand.
Fascinating.